Our story is one of adventure, honor, and intrigue. Our story is one of steel and shadow. Several days have passed since we left our heroes on the walls of the gallows. There they achieved a hard-won victory over Sir Gareis of Westernoll, who named them traitors. The Illmontes, lord and masters of Hangman's Vale, are united, as after the battle the son and daughter of the gallows returned. The four Illmontes give counsel to Amnoth and Dalren in the keep.
My lord and lady, we must leave this place, sooner rather than later. What would be the fastest way west?
North, past the mountains, sir, then turning west.
But that would lead us past Cirrus Unol, and eventually Omentoft.
That is the fastest way. We do not know what allies we will find beyond this hall. We know of treachery, but the one behind it remains hidden. Our mysterious attackers, a bold move of Sir Gareis, a greater mind guides them. Above all, we must be wary.
What lies to the south?
The vast wood of Gripthrong and Hrondale, city of the Dwathur.
After that, you turn west and pass through the Kelistar lands of Thiril. Then you travel north through Daelor. It is certainly the longest way.
My son and daughter are correct, sirs.
We must get there as soon as possible. Who knows what movements our enemy is making?
Aye, time is of the essence.
What of the mountain way?
The mountain way?
No, my wife, that way is much too dangerous. No man takes the mountain paths and lives.
I know of one, though they are no man.
Mother? Who?
Me, brother. I will take them across the eyes.
Endra, you mustn't. The way is too perilous.
Do places increase in peril? Father, I have walked the mountain paths before.
Tell me, husband, have you seen her death at the hands of the mountain folk?
If the Lord says you cannot go, you cannot—
I will go. I will take you through the pass, across the river, and to the wood just south of Omentoft. There you can take the road west to Bain Laurel, then to the capital.
Answer me, husband. Have you seen it?
I do not see all deaths, as you well know. But I know I cannot make her stay.
Father, it should be me who leads the knights west.
Your sister has always been beyond my control.
Another time will come for valor, good Karangar. You must keep your borders secure, now more than ever. Threats unknown now haunt your lands. An enemy from within is worse than two from without.
If it suits you, sirs, we can leave immediately.
Good luck, sirs. Gods be with you. The two knights depart the gallows and ready their traveling supplies in the courtyard, while Endra herself prepares for the journey.
Do you think it wise for a child to guide us across the eyes?
Truthfully, no. But what choice do we have? If she alone has traveled the mountain paths, then there is no better guide.
I don't like this. We are rushing into this when we should stop and consider our options.
Dalren, we must reach the king, and it seems that our nobility will no longer protect us. We don't have the men to guarantee us safety through civilized lands.
I know. I only wish we had more time. I feel foolish jumping at the first opportunity we have to get out of here. This fortress held against Sir Gareis, could it not hold us a little longer?
Are you afraid, my friend?
Yes. Not for my life, but for whatever's coming. Illmontes spoke of a coming divide, a great rift in the realm. What if we cannot prevent it? What if it's already started?
Be wary of Illmontes' riddles, Dalren. All we can hope to do now is our duty. We must relay our truth to the king.
I simply cannot stand the idea that there may be nothing I can do to heal what rift has formed.
We are not powerless.
No?
Not as I see it. Things are in motion, and the future is not set. Do you believe the gods have doomed us to fail? We have survived betrayal, battle, and injustice. Nothing is certain, and while there is chaos in that, there is also peace.
As Dalren ponders his friend's words of comfort, Endra approaches.
Are you ready, sirs? The journey will be arduous.
We are made of sterner stuff, my lady. Please lead on.
With a nod from their guide, the knights follow Endra through the courtyard of the gallows to the westernmost tower. There they climb several flights of flagstone steps to a narrow stone door. A guard leans lazily against the wall nearby, but snaps to attention when he notices Endra and the knights.
Oh, aye now. You know this way's forbidden, Lady Endra.
Not to those with my father's blessing, Beryl. Your devotion to your duty is commendable, but in this instance unnecessary. Open the door, if you will.
All right, as you wish, lady. The man puts his back against the wall and pushes firmly. For a moment, nothing happens, but finally the stone slab begins to move. Slowly, the door opens to reveal a long, ragged path that leads up in the mountains to the west of the gallows. Endra eagerly begins this path, and the knights follow.
You seem so familiar with this way, my lady. Have you often left the safety of your home?
Yes, Sir Dalren. I learned as a child that there are more exciting and interesting places to explore than the storerooms and armory of the gallows. Carangar was groomed to be my father's successor since his birth, and that left me to do as I pleased. It so happens that I was pleased to leave and explore the eyes alone.
Before you returned home, your mother spoke to me of your pluck. I'm beginning to see what she meant.
Yes, Mother was always more understanding of my wanderlust. More than Father, at least. I know they both worry for my safety. Even at this distance, I can sense it.
Rightfully so. These mountains are quite dangerous, are they not?
Indeed they are, sir. So dangerous, in fact, that the old Dorsheen would not cross over them.
But they felt it necessary to keep watch over them, which led to the construction of
Kiris Onol. Yes, I know. My knowledge of this region is extensive, sir, I must admit.
Daring and humble. My.
What a lady!
Do not think me a braggart, sir. I speak the truth. Few men have walked these canyons, and even fewer have seen the foregone paths and caverns as I have.
I meant no offense, child, I swear.
I am no child.
Your age and stature speak against you.
I am no child. I have seen the dark ways and looked upon the Gorgosphere.
God's girl! Do not speak that name, not while we walk in its shadow.
You fear these lands more than I do. Remember that it is I, not my warrior brother, who is leading you. You may think me small and insignificant, easy and deserving of dismissal, but you do not know me. You are knights, defenders, not some duo of tavern thugs. Your minds should be more open.
Apologies, lady, sincerely. It has been a long time since there was any levity in either of our hearts, and I am afraid we forgot ourselves at your expense.
Yes, I'm sorry. Regardless of your sex, your travels have earned you my respect.
A solemn silence falls among the trio, until Dalren, unable to resist, speaks up.
Have you really seen it?
Yes, do tell. But I beg you, do not speak that name.
Very well. Yes, I have looked upon it. It was some time ago, not long after my 15th birthday. I was angry, I believe. Something my father had said. So I left the gallows in a rush and ran west into the eyes. Such a fit of rage was I in that I ran for several days, hiking deep into the mountains with no mind for safety or navigation. On the evening of the 4th day, I wandered into it. I knew right away where I was. I came up over a hill from the southeast, following the sound of the river, and there it lay before me. A circle of flat stones surrounded on all sides by mountain caves. The circle was wide, though I forget how so. Within that courtyard were 3 tall pillars of equal height and shape, all cut from a similar stone, but the stone did not match that of the area, and I haven't seen its likeness elsewhere. My eyes were drawn to them, and there was nothing I could do but gaze upon them. The pillars entranced my mind, and my body felt slack. The next thing I knew, I was falling backwards, back down the hill. I must have lost my footing or dropped due to exhaustion. When I caught and righted myself, I began to climb to see again, but as I crested the hill, there was in my mind the darkest form and shape that even nightmares could not surpass. Though I cannot explain, I found myself running, all other thoughts abandoned. A day later, I arrived back at the gallows. Try as I might, I can find no explanation for the gap in time, for it should have taken me many more days to return. Over the years since, I've often found myself hoping I'd come across it in my travels. Even when I'd wander the far western eyes across the river, there would be a shadow of hope I'd see the sphere. I know I shouldn't want to see it ever again. After all, men tell terrible tales of the horrors that lurk there. But I do. For some reason or another, I do.
The young woman grows silent, and her pace slows. The 2 knights glance to one another, then back to her.
Don't dwell on such dark things, my lady. Our story should be light, to combat such grim times.
Well said, Dalren. Have you ever heard the story, Endra, of Sir Halbrin's last day in the service of his lord?
I know the name, but not the tale.
Sir Halbrin was once a great man, but like many, he loved his drink, perhaps too much. With time, he grew so fat that his lord's blacksmith could no longer fit him.
The trio
Well, on the
passes
last
the
day
day
of
with
his
many a
service,
swap tale,
it was said he was
winding their
drunk
way
before
through the
noon.
jagged eyes. Sharp, ferrous stone leers and reaches toward them at every turn, but Endra guides them through safe passages. The day wanes into the afternoon and evening, until the sun sets behind the mountains to the west. The three have passed beyond the periphery into the inner range, though many days of hard travel lay ahead of them. Amnoth begins to make a fire.
I will take first watch. Who will follow?
I will.
No, my lady, I will. I insist. You are our guide. Take the last watch so you can have a continuous rest. I need only follow you tomorrow, but your duty is the harder.
Very well. Keep a wary eye out, sirs. All manner of beasts stalk these slopes, and our fire will surely draw unwanted eyes.
There are no soldiers of the enemy out here, and that gives me peace of mind, in spite of what monsters may roam.
The night passes with no disturbances. As sunlight peeks through a gap in the mountains to the east, the three travelers rouse themselves and prepare for another day of hard hiking. Once prepared, they leave their campsite and make the trek westward across the eyes. So it goes for several days until the morning of the fourth day, when they crest a precipice. Below rushes the great river Swastilm, carrying water from the Sea of Tratos and the far north. It is both wide and fast-moving. Dalren voices his and Amnoth's thoughts.
How are we to cross such an obstacle? I am no legendary swimmer.
Nor am I.
Do not fear, sirs. There is a lone bridge but a league south. We'll cross the river there.
They continue on, following the river southward, until they see the bridge that Endra spoke of. A twisted path of aged brass, the bridge starts high above them at the top of a nearby cliff. It reaches over the Swastilm to the other side. When they reach the top of the cliff, Dalren speaks.
What men made such a cruel and twisted bridge? Hear how it creaks and moans in the wind. And when was this thing made? It looks as though it's seen a millennia.
Perhaps it has, I cannot say. The mountain folk are rumored to have made it long before the gallows was built.
Mountain folk? The old hill people Daloran mothers used to frighten their children?
They are no myth. A Daloran king vanquished them, slew their leader in single combat. Mothers told that tale 100 times. They are real, or at least they were. After their king died, they vanished from the eyes. We've never seen them in the east.
Well, do you think these mountain folk made a safe enough bridge? We weigh a good deal more than you.
It will hold.
Endra is first to walk cautiously out over the bridge. While the metal creaks and sways, it holds strong, and Amnoth crosses after she reaches the far side. He has a harder time going. The wind picks up and shakes the bridge, which locks handrails. After it subsides, he finishes the last leg, and Dalren starts across. When he reaches the middle and most thin part, a sight catches his gaze. He turns north and sees small trails of smoke far upriver through the gap in the mountains.
Dalren! Come on, my friend!
Dalren pulls his gaze back and crosses over to join Endra and Amnoth, to whom he seems oddly calm.
How strange. I could see it. Amnoth, I could see Kiris Uno just north of us.
Kirisuno?
Yes, my friend. The southern sister is just beyond the mountains. How strange that we could be so far removed from civilization and still be so close.
The trio begins walking the path before them, which leads into a valley between two tall and imposing rises.
It is the deception of the mountains, sir. It makes one feel as though they've traveled so far, when really most of the traveling has been up and down and back.
I'm not sure it's just the mountains.
The sudden sound of monstrous voices silences the trio. For a moment, there is silence, and then...
What was that? Goblin men?
No, sirs. I'm afraid that was something far worse.
The knights follow her gaze upward to see a tall, dark figure slowly descending from the shadows of the rise. What is it, and what are its plans for our heroes? Find out in the next episode of Steel and Shadow.